welcome to the Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design, the place where you get enlightening by your special Buddha's hand pie. This is episode number 22, my Stardust future. I am the Loin Gamer as the Sweaty.
And I am Lucho the Farmer. Thanks for joining us this week. On this episode, this week, we rescue Space Kiddo from the grip of the void.
Please do. But before that, let's take a look at this week's news. On the docket we have EVE Online will give players a second life in combat on new update. Borderlands film will be helmed by famed horror director. CD Projekt Red Dev is now Europe's second largest video game company. So, in the new update of EVE Online, generally, if you ever played EVE Online, you have seen it, right?
I've seen it. I have looked into the prospects of getting into a game, but that's probably something that is not gonna happen ever.
I feel like from all the games that we play, EVE Online is like kind of a life commitment more than anything else.
And I mean, I like that. I just don't have the time.
You like life commitment games. That is definitely true. That is definitely true.
I like it. I approve of that.
Yes. Yeah, but it's still a very good game. So usually what happens is that you build your ship and then you take a roll, you go and mine, blah blah blah. But you have combat in the thing, so you ship to ship space combat, blah blah blah. And once your ship gets blown up, it's done. You get the way it works is like in the technology of EVE, the player is a clone. Like his mind gets cloned several times and then put into a pod inside the spaceship. So if you die, they resurrect a clone back in central of you, and that's it, right? You're out of combat. With this new update, what they're gonna do is like you die, and then there's gonna be a frigate that's gonna bring a smaller version of your ship, like a downgrade version of your ship, so you can keep going into combat or get revenge, or like get like if the combat, for example, the combat was really close, then the other ship got like kind of damaged, then they bring up an extra ship, like a little bit downgraded. That's how they explain it from what you were playing, so you can go and get revenge or finish whatever you were trying to do on there, right? That's the idea.
Interesting.
Yeah. What do you think about second lives in PvP scenarios, especially in MMOs? It's like if in World of Warcraft you got killed and then you got instantly resurrected with like half of your life, for example.
I mean, that's what we have now.
We do, but we have
just
to
for
like
the first. Yeah, but you have to fly to your body. That doesn't take long, but you don't have a resurrection penalty unless you die soon again.
Yes.
So that's basically what happens now.
Oh, yeah. But like, I think this would be the same then as WoW kind of PvP thing when you get no, skirmishes.
Sure. I mean,
right?
Yeah, I like that.
Is it good, or do you prefer like a more rough approach of like, oh yeah, your ship was destroyed, you were all out in space fighting with a pirate, something like that, and that's it?
I mean, I can see the appeal of that for some people, not for me.
You're right. You can see the appeal of second lives in games.
No, I can see the appeal of the harsh approach.
You can see the harsh approach, yeah. So, what in the camp of like hardcore, because this kind of like makes combat less punishing in EVE, right? Because when you are going for what I generally heard of people who plays this game a lot, they think a lot before going into combat because it's a high risk, right? It's kind of a high risk, high reward kind of situation. If you are successful in the combat that you were trying to do, then you get things and blah blah blah, and you win and you get resources, etc., etc. But if you lose, then your ship is destroyed. You have to pay all the damages, and that's it. And the combat is done.
I mean, if it if it discourages people from doing stuff, then it is too punishing.
Mm. All right.
Like you still, I guess, you still want people to go around and fight a little
In a space, yeah.
without
Yeah,
being
you're
like
right.
super prepared. Like,
Yeah, because uh,
and also even if you're super prepared and you die,
yeah,
it is still bad. Like you
of
don't take away from that feeling of,
yes, of
oh,
course,
I
of course.
wasted a bunch of resources.
And then I didn't do anything. Yeah, and then I lost. Yeah, it's
That
kind of
that's like just feeling bad for the sake of punishing players. I feel like that's bad game design. There are some people who like it.
yeah.
I think there is no point to it. But
So in your
each
opinion,
one to
there's
its own.
like if it's so I think it's a I think more than that maybe it's kind of a philosophy approach. If you want to do like as I understand it, if you are gonna fight in EVE Online, that becomes kind of the central thing that you do in the game generally. You become a fighter pilot, right? Because covering the cost of repairing your ship every time you fight, etc., kind of becomes the thing that you do. So on the long run, you end up like if you're gonna PvP or not, EVE Online is mostly the only thing that you do, right? You either become a pirate or you become a fighter pilot for some company, for some corporation, right? Because the costs are that strict. So maybe you're right. Maybe this will
I don't
encourage
know.
people to fight more.
I don't necessarily agree with mechanics that shoehorn players into one specific role.
Yeah, yeah, but that can be like the thing is like the argument for defending this is like in a game as expansive of Eve, where you can do so many things and everything kind of captures your entire attention. You can dedicate an entire play play session or playthrough to just mine asteroids and explore, right? And you can become just an explorer and get there, right?
Yeah, but you're like, what's the point of having a huge game if you can only experience one little part of the game?
I see your point. Yeah. Well,
That's what I'm saying. That shoehorning players into like one super specific, super specialized role,
it's not.
in my opinion, it's a bad thing. It's fine that you have a specialization or something.
Yeah.
Like that's fine. Like you specialize in being a combat pilot, but you still get to other stuff, or the other way around.
Yeah.
Like you're the CEO of one of the corporations, but you still get to go out and pew pew some people in the face.
Yeah.
I think that it just gives you another avenue of just having fun with the game.
So yeah, like it encourages more, uh,
And
like
it is of course not gonna encourage everyone. It's just those people who are like sitting in between asking themselves,
if I
should I do
wanna,
it or should not?
yeah, and it makes it like less risky to actually like try come back in Eve, right?
Yeah.
To see if you like it or not, because yeah, it's difficult to get in there if you have if you're not right now if you are not willing to like pay the cost of actually become a combat fighter. It's interesting just opening those kind of like systems that maybe they'd be not very used because of that, because they're too punishing. Yeah. So it is a good change, but like there
It,
is always an argument of like like the game loses like the hardcore kind of feeling.
there are always gonna be those people around, and
That thing that
I
the
don't give a
hardcore.
shit about them.
All right.
No, it's like, oh, I want my games to be hard and punishing for no
Yeah,
fucking reason.
it's
Dude, it's a
because they're
video
supposed
game.
to be rewarding and stuff. That's the argument.
It's a fucking video game. If you're gonna do something rewarding, gonna go out and learn something, make money. I don't know, like it's a game.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, it's just have fun, man. But there is people
Yeah,
like that. There is definitely gamers like that. And
Yeah, that they believe are so hardcore because we rough gamers. No,
yeah.
you're not a rough gamer. You're sitting behind a computer.
Rough and
It's just
Grisel game, and like I'm hardcore and stuff, and
yeah.
I only play
Like
hardcore because. But it's weird. Like for example, I only play hardcore in Diablo 3 by now. It's the only way that I get to have fun with the game. Where is that risk of losing everything? But
yeah, but that's your decision,
yeah,
and
but
you don't affect anyone else with that.
that is true. Yeah, that is true. I impose that those because that yeah. So yeah, yeah, it's kind of the way that you engage with the video
Things
game at the end.
things change whenever you get to interact with other people.
That is definitely true. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't like I wouldn't I wouldn't impose my way of playing Diablo 3 to anyone else because I play the
Yeah,
most like
of
punishing way
course
that I
not.
can. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It is the same thing. Like we're running a WoW with War Modone.
Yeah.
It's that's the feeling that I like. It can get chaotic sometimes.
Yeah.
You'll find yourself in skirmishes.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay a price for just dying a bunch because you're gonna have to pay for the repairing cost. They're not that high, but
Yeah.
they can pile up pretty
Yeah.
fast. It's like it's not for everyone. You can take it off. You can turn it off.
Yeah, that is true. You can definitely turn it off.
So I don't know. Games like for as much as like them, they're just games.
That is true. Anyway, so cool update, Evil 9. It is a
Yeah,
cool
let's see how it
game.
goes. Maybe
So
everyone will hate it.
Yeah, maybe
And they will
everyone
change it
as
back.
usually. Somebody will get outraged as usual.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but hopefully, best of luck with the update. It looks cool. The game is still cool and going. So, on the next in the news is apparently there's gonna be a Borderlands movie.
Don't do it.
What?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Why not? They had success with the Sonic movie apparently.
No movie based in a video game is ever gonna be good.
No movie based in a video game is never gonna be good. As said in the Sweaty the Farmer, the game designed by Lucho at 11:57. He will die, but that flag.
It's because you're taking a layer of immersion going from video game to movie.
Yeah, but there is a space there for you to tell an interesting story. Like the thing is, like video games have a lot of interesting stories to tell. The thing is like the way that you engage with video games is different, right? As the way that you engage with a movie. But there's still potential for a story to be told based on a video game franchise, like inside that universe, right? It's like fan fiction, right? It's like
yeah, that shit is never good.
there is some good fan fiction that's been made into
Never
shows
seen
and
it.
stuff. Like, for example, like a lot of part of the Clone Wars stuff, like the Clone Wars series, very successful Clone Wars series,
Do
was
you know what
taken
was
out
successful in fan fiction?
was taken out
50
of a
Shades
lot
of
of fan
Grey.
fiction. What?
50 Shades of Grey.
Twilight was fan fiction.
Of
For
what?
example, Twilight was fan fiction.
Of what?
I don't remember, but it was fan fiction or something else.
50 Shades of Grey was fan fiction
50
of
Shades
Twilight.
of Twilight? Yeah, that's it. Anyway. But yeah, Sonic, apparently a Sonic movie is very good. It's not like spectacular, but it's like the best video game movie adaptation
It's
so
not a good
far.
movie.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's not a good movie.
Really? You went to see it?
No, I didn't want to see it. I saw it.
You saw it. All right.
It's not a good movie. I don't.
So you don't
I mean-
believe in the Borderlands movie. It is
No.
like
You know what the Borderlands movie is called?
what?
Mad Max.
Go and watch Mad Max. All right. All
Fury
right.
Road.
You have a point. Yes.
It's a good.
Yes.
It's a good movie. And if you want more, go watch the old ones, like
The last one is
Thunderdome.
very good. Like Fury Road is like excellent.
Fury Road's a
Excellent
really
movie.
good movie.
Yeah. And that's
That's basically
that's
what Borderlands
Borderlands in a
is.
nutshell. Basically. So it's a weird Inception thing, right? It's like a movie made the game, and now the game is making a movie, right? Full circle. Are we here?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I may be wrong,
All right.
and someday we may get good movies based on video games.
Yeah, the record
I don't
shows that
think that's
so
gonna
far
happen.
not very good.
I don't see it. Like, pick your favorite video game,
My favorite video game, Legend of Zelda.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now picture a movie based on that franchise.
Difficult.
Rough.
Yeah. Definitely difficult.
That's what I'm saying. It's just
Yeah.
taking away, like, okay, to be fair, I have heard that the Witcher series is
It's
good,
excellent. The Witcher series is excellent.
but it's based on the book.
Yes,
So
on the books. They
you can think of the book and the video game as parallel experiences based on the same material.
is weird. Like the thing about the Witcher series is weird because they are telling the stories. The thing how it works is like they're telling the stories before the game begins. The game begins, and then they go off into a tangent, right? So technically, they're
That
not.
doesn't matter. That's not the point.
Yeah, they're not stepping. The thing that I was gonna say is that not stepping in anyone's toes. No, neither in the book toes, neither in the game toes.
That doesn't matter. The point is that there is one common previous work, which were the books.
Yes.
Everything is based on the books, so that's
Yes,
fine.
that is true.
Like you can successfully adapt a book into a movie and be its own piece of art.
All right.
You can successfully take a book, make a video game out of it, and be a successful piece of art.
All right. Yeah.
That's fine because it has proven so far to work.
Yes.
The problem is the video game movie connection. That's that's what I believe The Witcher is succeeding now.
Well, it did borrow some from the video games, like some aesthetics
Sure,
and visuals.
it can borrow. That's fine, but it's not based on the video game. It's based on the book.
Yeah,
that's a huge difference.
Fair enough.
Because the way books tell stories are way more detailed, are more expansive than when you usually can tell in a video game.
Okay.
And the way that people picture worlds and characters and scenarios in a book is completely different to what happens when you're playing a video game.
All right.
So when you're playing a video game, like you have an idea of what the world is in your head, and it was like you have a specific idea in your head.
Yes.
With the book, you have more leadway with changing things, because you read the book and you can imagine things, and
that is true.
It was like this, like that, and it kind of has more freedom, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That it's, I don't know if easier. It's probably easier for people to accept the different depictions that a movie versus video game can have of the same book. It doesn't work that much the other way around, because with a video game you have a really box set of expectations to meet in the movie.
Well, we wish him the best of lucks. Hopefully it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he's good. I don't think he's gonna be.
And then I'm gonna tell you about the director that they choose. They choose Eli Roth, and he's primarily a horror director. He directed the Hostel, kind of like horror gore series, and then he was co-director. Yeah, I know, and he was co-director in the B House Frame movies that
That's
Quentin
kind of a
Tarantino.
weird tone for a Borderlands
I know,
movie.
right? He's like a weird director. It's like,
I
why
don't
did they
think
want
of
like
Borderlands as
he's
horror or even gore.
he's very specialized in horror gore, right?
It
That's
could work.
his take. Like if you go through his filmography, that's what he does. He directs very interesting because I uh, like they're not very good movies, but I like the Hostel movies in terms of gore horror. He's very good directing that. I'm fan of Hellraiser too, so that's what I'm coming from. So the Hostel are interesting in that regard, in the regard of like gore horror direction. But I don't know why they pick him for Borderlands. It's weird. There's not that much. There is gore in Borderlands, but
Not really.
like people explode in pieces and that sort of stuff. It's like
That's not gore. Like that's not gore at all.
that is gore, but it's not horror gore. That's what I mean, right?
I guess
Like there is blood
not
and guts,
really.
but that's not the main
There
focus
are
of
not
the.
that many blood and guts. There are more colors and
Well,
shiny
yeah,
rainbows shooting
that is
around
true.
and body parts flying.
So hopefully it's gonna be an interesting
You
movie.
know who I want to see directing a video game movie?
Who?
Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson.
That would be so fucking out of character and also
Yes.
fun to watch.
It's like if you put what is this other director? The one from The Irishman. What is his name? He's directed a bunch of good movies. Very classic director. What's his name, man? What is his name, Lucho?
I don't know. You're taking notes.
Irishman director. Irishman director. Martin Scorsese. So I put a Scorsese to direct. I don't know. A game
That
adaptation or something.
that could work.
That could work. What do you
No,
put
but
Scorsese to direct? I don't know. Grand Theft Auto maybe movie adaptation.
it could work. But the point
Yeah,
is that I was saying Wes Anderson because Anderson has a really specific style
that is true.
and a really specific tone. And
Yeah,
like Wes Anderson doesn't make movies outside the Wes Anderson genre of movies.
correct.
That was my point.
Yeah. So it's
That
weird.
it has such a like specific style that it will be just insane to watch a movie, like a video game based movie, on his take
Fair enough.
on filmography. That's what I
Anyways,
was going for.
and our last news of the day is that CD Projekt Red devs are now the second largest video game company in the whole of Europe. And that's
Okay.
accompanied by the announce that they will now launch. They retired Cyberpunk from the Stadia exclusive launch, and now they're launching in cloud, in the Nvidia service cloud service game, which is apparently a much better service.
Aren't them the Witcher guys?
Yeah, they're the Witcher guys. They're the Witcher and Cyberpunk 2077 guys.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about any of those. So
No, why? They're good developers.
oh yeah, no, I was saying the games. I'm not saying that they're bad
Ah.
developers.
All right, fair enough.
I'm saying they could be really good developers, and I
Yeah.
still couldn't may
So
not know their games.
So the reason why is this news is because in some shape or form is kind of concerning is because imagine if suddenly DE becomes the most biggest company in Canada or something like that, or like
Aren't they like one of the biggest game developers in Canada?
I think I'm not sure. I'm trying to give an example, right? It's like if a very independent, like very player focused developer, like with like a good record of giving you good products and caring for the customer becomes the biggest thing.
Isn't that a good thing?
It is a good thing, but like the problem is like it's a concerning thing because this calls attention into investors toward the company. And as the records show, investors ruins video games company because they try to pull like they try to excessive monetize all these products. So everybody's concerned that Everybody's hoping that nothing happens and CD Projekt Red just keeps doing what it's doing. But the
Who
concern
owns
is
CD
that
Project Red?
uh, it, they're Polish developers, and part of CD Projekt Red is owned by. They have this weird thing with the government, right? They're partly
Okay,
funded by the government of Poland.
okay.
Yeah. So
But I
the
mean,
developers of CD Projekt, and part of the government of Poland, because they have like this weird kind of like, it's like they in different countries they have like entertainment programs, and they fund
yeah.
some projects, and they fund Witcher 1 and 2. I don't know if they keep doing that with the government, but as far as I know, they had that for a long time.
That's fine. I don't know. Yeah, D is partially, like, mostly owned by a Chinese company. Yeah,
Okay, the Chinese overlords. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, it could work or not. So
So yeah,
that's all
so
I'm saying.
all I'm saying is congratulations to CD Projekt Red. They deserve it. They do very good products. They care a lot about their audience. So and hopefully this doesn't affect their company philosophy. That's all I'm saying.
It doesn't have,
Yeah,
and
hopefully.
that was my D example for, like,
Yeah, it doesn't have to. Yeah. Since
they're
when?
owned by a Chinese company.
Since when?
So,
Since when did they sold?
oh, like a long time ago.
Right? Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know this. I didn't know that they were
yeah.
paid. Do you know who is one of the big Tencent or some
No, no,
other or
no. It's
NetEase?
another, but it's another, like, Hong Kong based free to play focus game
It's one of
company.
those. So it's one of those Chinese companies that
I don't know
invest
if
in.
I don't know if it's one of the big ones,
All right, fair enough. You don't know
but
if
it's
one of
one
the
of
big.
those, like, Hong Kong based
Yeah.
free to play focus.
Yeah, because we have example like so far the record that the Chinese owned companies smaller they try not to interfere in the decisions of the developer. We have another example. For example, Part of Exile, the GGG developers, they're like 80% of their business is owned by Tencent.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and they're keeping like the game hasn't changed. They just became better. And that's it, right? The philosophy hasn't changed
since 2014, they're owned by a Chinese company,
since
Digital
2014.
Extreme.
Wow. Long time. Interesting. So hopefully, yes. Hopefully, just this just reinvigorate the company and
Yeah,
and not change their philosophy, because the one that they're trailing behind is Ubisoft. So Ubisoft is the biggest developer in Europe.
that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, congratulations to Witcher, and that's congratulations to Project Red. Sorry, and that's our news for
Yeah,
the week. So let's move to
let's move
what
on.
is my green screen? I have no green screen. Why? Let me fix that quickly. We move to
Fix it.
our main topic. Will I look for my green screen? There it is. All right, no problem. So first of all, a disclaimer before a deep dive. The discussion here is based on our opinions and our own in-game experiences. Anything that we say here, you can check down in Wikipedia where we're wrong or right, and then you can send us email or angry comments saying you're wrong and tell us why. That will be interesting. But basically, it's our experience playing the game directly. If we miss something, it's because we haven't seen it or we haven't checked it out, but we try to cover as much as we can. And the second disclaimer this week, again, is spoilerinos ahead. Spoilers ahead. We are gonna, because we're gonna criticize the entire game, we might give you spoilers of quest lines and systems and stuff in the future. So if you're playing Warframe and you're not up to date, you can stop the podcast now, go and play it, and then come back and finish it. Right?
Please do.
Yes. So the dive is we're gonna criticize Warframe. We've been talking about Warframe for 3 episodes, which is more than usual. But it's a big game to cover, so here we are. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the first and most important thing in Warframe is new player experience. It's 2020 and the new player experience in Warframe has changed so many times that I don't know what it is right now.
I mean, it hasn't changed to what we experienced with our friend a couple of months ago.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we play with him. I forgot that. So what is it about the new play experience?
What do you think of it?
Uh I don't know. It's kind of like the meme, of course. The meme is like if you want to play Warframe, you have to read the wiki first. That is the meme of the new player experience in Warframe. That you have to like learn all these things, and like if you need like information about where to go, what to do next, you end up going to the wiki directly or checking a guide as we recommended, right?
Yeah, and that's still true to this day.
That is still true to this day. So how do you fix, or what do you do with the new player experience in such a big game? It will be my question, right? To not be that necessity of a guide or the wiki that you're not attached to it. Like, what kind of tooltips can you put? Do you need to like expand more quest lines? Do you need to like do more helpful videos or something like that? Like, because it's the same as like I was thinking about it, and it's kind of similar. Well, the thing is like Monster Hunter World is much smaller and it takes a lot of more pacing to teach you. But if you're gonna go deep in Monster Hunter World, you end up looking for like what is the like kind of like good combos on the weapon. But it's
I
not as
disagree with
bad
that
as it.
statement.
All right.
Monster Hunter does a really good job of working you through all its systems.
Yeah.
And you can never touch a guide and still be able to kill all the monsters in the game.
Yeah, that is true. That is for sure true. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure people can. Like,
Yeah.
no problem whatsoever. Are they gonna be beating world records?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Are they gonna go speedrunning shit? No. Are they able to clear all the content and kill all the monsters without ever looking for a build or a guide?
Yeah, that's probably
Definitely.
true. Yeah. That is true. But yeah, so and so how do you smooth the new player experience? What do you do about it? Like, do you put more
Uh,
videos guiding people? Do you shorten the missions? Do you give more clear objectives? What do you have to do? Do you clarify what you have to go and search for in the foundry?
the problem is that I don't think you can. I think no, like I think I have said this before. I see games in this spectrum to completely like skill based, like mechanical skill based games,
Yeah.
to basically spreadsheet
Correct.
skill based.
Spreadsheet skill. Where working Excel is your skill.
Or like working out the numbers and
Yeah.
understanding the underlying mechanics and damage types and how everything works in the game
Yeah.
is the skill.
Correct. All right.
And games follow in that spectrum, anywhere from like pure FPS like Counter-Strike to just
Yeah,
you
just
have
like
nothing to understand.
Overwatch, Counter Strike, the Call
Or
of Duty.
Overwatch moves a little bit more to the other side of the spectrum because like the purest version of the skill base is Counter-Strike because
Yep. Yeah.
all the weapons pew pew the same number,
Yeah, that's
pew
it.
pew.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. It's
the
how
only
good are
thing
you
that the only thing that you have
at
to think
clicking faces.
is which weapon will you pick, and that's it.
Yeah, but that's not that much. Like,
Yeah.
like you know, you have a shit weapon, but you're really good at clicking faces.
Yes,
You're gonna
you're
own
gonna kill
noobs.
everything. Yes, correct.
And on the other spectrum, you have things like EVE Online, which
which is yes, which
it's
is
like in the other spectrum, you can put like more management heavy game.
Yes, correct.
Where you're just looking at menus and screens and numbers and stuff.
Yes.
And for me, the beauty, for example, of Monster Hunter is that it's the closest game to
To the middle?
that center of that spectrum. But
Between
it has enough skill-based gameplay involved
yeah.
that you can overcome or that you can lack on the giving any shit about the build or like an efficient build, and you can overcome that through pure mechanical skill.
Yeah, technically you can go and try to kill a monster with a wet noodle, and if you're good enough, it's gonna take you a while, but you're gonna kill it.
You're gonna kill it. Like
Yeah.
if you know the moves, if you know when to dodge, how to
Yeah.
use iframes,
Yeah.
and if you barely engage with just upgrading your weapons
Yeah,
and
just
putting
straight up.
decorations on your armor, not thinking too much about what's the most efficient combination
Yeah,
or survive damage, blah blah blah. Not even care about that.
yeah,
Just upgraded armor, upgraded weapon, and skills. You can kill anything.
correct.
So that's what I'm saying. That's the middle, and that's kind of they can do it. And I feel like games like Warframe and WoW and stuff like that, they start moving to the spreadsheet side of the
Yes,
of
of
the
the spectrum,
spectrum.
definitely. Yeah,
And the more you move that way, it becomes harder and harder to explain to a player. So like to give the player in-game tutorials or guides or advice on how to approach the systems of the game, you know?
Yeah. So then, like for example, like Civilization is
Yeah.
kind of a spreadsheet kind of game in that
Yep.
spectrum, right? But it really does a very good job of showing you how the systems develop, right, and work and interact and that sort of stuff through like helpful videos and like small missions, etc., etc.
Sure. The problem is that it's a different like there are shades to the description that I gave, and is that games like Civilization, like turn-based strategy games,
Yeah,
like they rely a little bit heavier on the strategy side of the thing, and you don't have to. So you don't have to have a specific setup prepare
yeah.
if you're going to battle.
So it'd be more in the skill spectrum in that sense, right? Even if they have all those complex
Yeah,
systems.
even if it has, even if it's full on the management thing,
Yeah,
like there's a huge strategic thinking about how to play the game,
correct.
and
All right.
it has skills on you being able to like play chess if you want.
Yes.
It's more of that.
All right. So that's the difficult thing. Like, how do you get a happy? The thing is like getting that happy medium. I think
No, that like my point is,
yeah.
not every game should aim for the middle point
All right.
because that'll be boring.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just that I feel like the games that fall closer to a heavy spreadsheet preparation side of the game, they're gonna have a harder time showing themselves to players. Like,
So do you think it's like a barrier to entry that is difficult to remove or almost impossible to remove?
I think it's almost like, yeah, I think there are just games that if you want to play, you have to accept the fact that you're gonna have to
Go and look at
do
wikis and
things
guides and
out of your way. It's not a couch gaming game.
all right, but that in his way kind of like make it difficult to access, right?
It does. It definitely. It's a huge barrier of entry for those games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna tell you it's not.
Can the question then is, can we fix that barrier of entry, right? Because for example, I'll say like Magic has had for a long time had like a huge barrier of entry, and they've done a lot of things to lower that barrier of entry. Of course, there's a limit.
I don't think it has worked.
You don't think they have? Oh, okay. Like, I think that they have done like major strides to lower the barrier of entry. That doesn't mean that it's gonna disappear, right? That's my thing. Like, I don't think the barrier of entry for Warframe is gonna disappear because it's gonna keep being the game that it is, right? My point is, how can we make it lower? And one of the things that will make it lower will be an overhaul of the relationship between the player and the store, for example, right? When you go and buy blueprints and that sort of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, just to start, just to start. That'll be
Explain it to me because I don't see how that will help.
all right. The first thing that you engage with in Warframe beyond the mod system, which is his entire own beast, is going to the store and buy blueprints to do weapons.
Yep.
Yeah. And it is confusing at the beginning to know how exactly and why should I buy them, and et cetera, right? That progress system can be smooth just by putting like a suggestion barrier and disconnecting the acquisition of blueprints from the store.
Oh, that's not gonna happen. You know why? It's a free-to-play game.
Yes, I know.
So that kind of thing is not gonna change.
I know because it's
Like,
part of like they want the player to see the store and for
yeah,
them to buy stuff. I know, but it could be fixed by giving the player a guide to what to get next, and just offer it like separately while he's advancing in the game.
don't they do that?
No, in the sense like I'm gonna give you an example. You take your first guns from it, right? And then
Okay.
you start building your first Warframe, and that's your kind of tutorial with the what is the first thing that you build? You build some. They give you a blueprint, and then you build something right at the beginning.
I mean the device to take away the ankle monitor that
Yes, exactly, the
Captain
device.
Burr
Thank you.
put in you.
So that's it, and that's it, right? Then you have to find out that you have to go to the blueprint thing to get the blueprint and build the weapons that you want in the free system, right? Because they offer it to you in the normal drop down menu when you go select your weapon. They show you all the weapons in the game, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's good that they will show you what MR weapons you're supposed to get next in some kind of track, on some kind of like easy to understand thing, because they just show you all the weapons in the drop down and you're like, all right, and there's some MR closed down, but you're like, okay, but I don't understand. Then you go to the other thing, and then you start buying the weapons, and then you understand that that's the progress thingy, right? That
I don't
is not that
see how
smooth.
that is different from what we have now, to be honest.
Yeah, because you're not giving the player a guide to what to build next, for example.
But that's so the arsenal right now, whenever you go to a weapon slot,
Yeah.
you can see all the weapons that you don't have.
Yeah, you can see them, but you don't know what to build, or what should you build
Oh
next, or what is your
no, but
possibilities.
it should never tell you that. I think that's a mistake. They should never tell you what to build next.
They should not tell, but they should suggest it to you, so you know what are your options
That
at the beginning.
that's what the MR is for, and that's why the weapons are locked behind the MR.
Yes, but you don't have that clearly when you open that system.
It is clear because the ones that are locked say
MR
unlock
blah.
MR something.
Yeah, unlock MR blah. Yeah, I know, but you still have like a lot of options. Anyway,
I don't like. I really like what you're asking for. I feel like it's there.
make it
Like,
more obvious or apparent or whatever. And you can like buy
okay.
blueprints.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, what you're saying is that they could tell you more upfront that you can buy the blueprints for credits on the store or
Probably.
somewhere
Yeah.
else, whatever.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen.
All
I
right.
mean,
So just a free to play trap that we cannot fix.
it's. I mean, you can call it a trap if you want,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it may be for some players.
yeah, yeah.
But
It's not
this
a
is a
trap. It's
like
like a system of engagement that I understand. But
it's a free to play game. Like we cannot be that innocent of saying, "Oh no,
yeah, I know, I know.
they have to sell it." Like, come on.
All right, fair enough. The other thing,
No, I agree with you. It will be
yeah,
better and more transparent if they will point it you to just go get the blueprint and stuff.
yeah.
But we live in a world and money. So.
And money is a thing, etc., etc.
And I don't think it's that deceiving because, to be fair, the weapons are like buying it straight up with platinum weapons is super expensive. And most people won't have that platinum to begin with.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to afford the weapons. The only one thing is that that's gonna put off a lot of people because it may look like a
Like you have to pay for
pay
the
to win
weapons.
game.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. Yeah.
But yeah, I hear you. I don't know. I hear you, but they still have to show the goods.
I know, but there is better ways. I'm saying that maybe there is a better way to do it. Like maybe there is a smoother way to do it. Maybe a cleaner way, easier to understand way.
That might be true. That might be true. I don't know how. I think probably like UI designers have thought about this longer than us.
Yeah, yeah.
But you still have to show the goods.
That is true. I'm not denying that. That's necessary, but maybe there is a better way to do it. What else about the new player experience that we can fix? Does the mod system is still confusing to new players to understand?
Yeah, but let's talk about the mod system later.
All right.
Because that's the biggest.
Yeah. And then I think the unlocking weapons is easier to understand.
I think, okay, there is one thing where I believe they could do better, and it's how to farm frame.
Oh.
Because the weapons are kind of straightforward. Once you figure out that you can buy the blueprints on the market,
you're done. Yeah.
You're done. That's it.
Yeah.
And the Warframes, on the other hand, those are more confusing.
Yeah, because they show you the blueprint for building it, and then they're like.
But also not all of them. Like, so you can buy some of the blueprints.
Yeah, but not all the blueprints.
Like on the market, you can buy other ones on the dojo. Other ones come from Quest.
So maybe
all of them require part to build them that need to be farmed and built.
Maybe doing
and
it.
All that process is confusing.
Maybe doing it as a tooltip, like the essences in WoW. Well, they tell you where to get them, right? If you hover over the.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you open the Warframe, like the frames section is the same as the gun selection, but the difference is like if you hover over a frame, it will tell you where it is. Right?
That would be really useful. Yes, I agree.
It will tell you like blueprint on market, for example, or on this boss, right? Or in this
if
quest.
it tells you like what boss or what planet to go at least,
or quest, because there's yeah. And then in this quest, and then the chassis, the neuroptics and the systems, it will tell you what it is. Like drops by this, drop by this, and then drop by this, and then you go and do whatever. I think that will fix it super easy to have that tooltip, right?
I think that would help. Even if not in the armory, at least on the foundry. Like if you already have the blueprint and you hover over the blueprint on the foundry,
it will tell you where it drops. Or
that it tells you where the parts drop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if there's some frames that are tied to spoilers, just put it in question marks, and then you open the tooltip after you get there. Right?
I don't think there are many frames tied to spoilers.
I'm just saying it.
No, yes, but
Yeah.
like the only one that I can think of is Umbra, and I think he doesn't appear until you get it.
Yeah, it's correct.
Like he doesn't appear on the list if you haven't done the quest.
That is correct.
So yeah, so something like that will be. I think warframes needed more than weapons, just because warframes are more grindy to get.
Yes.
That will help a lot. And
Well,
you know what? Actually,
what?
for the weapons, they could do the same thing.
Tooltips?
Like, yeah, like when you hover over the weapon, it can show you like blueprint, market, Lab
Or like
research lab or whatever.
there's some pieces that comes from like quest of drops too. So
Yeah, there
that's
are some that
confusing.
are on quest. There are some that drop on specific maps or specific units. So
Yeah.
you can either put the name of the unit or the name of the planet or something.
So we just need like a clear tooltip of where to get whatever you want to get.
Yeah, although I don't know what happens right now if you hover, like if you open your armory and you hover over a warframe. I don't know if it shows you any information.
I think it shows you just like the stats of the Warframe.
It could be showing you stats.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the
it
weapons,
would be
right?
useful to have like a little thing at the end of that window. Just
Yeah, just an extra where to get tooltip,
yeah,
and that will help.
that would be nice.
And that will help a lot of like knowing where to go, knowing if I want this frame because it looks cool, knowing exactly how to get it and where to get it, right?
I
But
mean, if not exactly, because some of those are gonna be confusing. Like
for
especially a
example,
quest, like the ones that are tied to quest, like they're gonna be confusing to get because you have to go and look what do you need to do for the quest, and a lot of them are hidden behind junctions or and reaching certain planets.
yeah, that's why the tooltip will update. Like if you have the quest, then it will tell you do this quest. If you don't have the quest, then it will don't tell you where it is till you
No,
open it.
that's no, that doesn't make sense. You should give all the info like you should give the information of the beginning. So,
Or
or what
like
do you mean by
an
that?
idea, like for example, Mesa, right? Mesa, you can only get it doing the quest that unlocks when you
Sure.
are like
Yeah.
after the Jupiter junction, I think it is,
Yeah.
right? So if you hover over Mesa, it's going to tell you, for example, it's going to tell you somewhere after Jupiter junction or unlock Jupiter junction, right?
No,
And then when you unlock it,
no, I don't like that.
you don't like that, so you just put it like what is it? This quest
Yeah.
as a spoiler, no matter
That's not like you can just put the name of the
the name of the
quest.
quest. All right, fair enough. All right,
It's the same thing that you mentioned with the essences in WoW. Like they don't tell you where to go. They just tell you
do this quest. Yeah,
this
yeah,
thing or
yeah, yeah.
this achievement or this vendor.
Fair enough. All right, yeah, yeah, we can put the
The same thing,
information in front. Yeah,
just where to get this quest.
that's it. Yeah,
Even the name of the quest is not a spoiler. Or
fair enough. Fair enough.
like if knowing how to get there, it may be difficult. Although to refer how to open each quest is explaining the codex.
Will you put all the information in that tooltip, or would you prefer to have just the information where to get the blueprint, and after you get the blueprint, then in the foundry will give you the information of where to get the pieces?
I would rather split it that way. Like more information is good, but you cannot show all the information at once because that's confusing.
Yeah. So you just give you the quest, and then once you have the blueprint, then it will give you
Yeah.
the location of the pieces.
Yeah, maybe and maybe they should do like a small quest where you farm, I don't know, one of the first frames.
You don't have that, right? There is no quest at the
That is
beginning
not
where
really,
you farm.
not really.
What is the first frame that you can farm?
Uh,
Excalibur is the first frame that you can find.
no,
Isn't it Skull?
no.
I thought it was a Skull. I
Nope.
know Rhino is the first frame that you can farm.
Rhino is probably one of the first. I don't know if it's the first one, but it's probably one of the first that you can
I think
farm.
it's the first one because you get it from the thingy-majingy, the raptor, the razor blade thingy.
Then you can get something before that.
Is
I'm
that the
pretty
first?
sure.
Isn't that the first like big boss that you fight?
Jackal?
Jackal, yeah, the big jackal. That's where you get Rhino.
Is it Venus the first boss that you farm?
I think so.
Or is it Mercury?
Those junctions are super close.
I know, because those are the first planets.
Yeah, they're super first planets.
You may be right
Yeah, because the next
that
one
it's Venus.
is Frost, but Frost is in Mars.
It could be Mars, because I'm for sure that you don't. I'm 100% sure that you cannot farm Earth's boss at the beginning.
No.
So the next one is either Mars or Venus.
Yeah. So it's the razor blade with Rhino or Frost in Mars. No, Ember in Mars, because Frost they changed it somewhere else recently.
Yeah. So I mean, either one of those, like a nice little quest that first points you out to the
Something
armory.
like, it's time to make a new frame, Tenno, and then they give you like, go and buy the blueprint.
They're probably better than you at writing these things.
I know, right? I'm giving you an example out of my top of my head.
Yeah, but something like the first step is pointing you out to a Warframe so that you can hover over the thing and it shows you, like it highlights the thing.
Yeah, it's like get that. So you go into a market, buy the blueprint, and then they tell you, all right, now you need the parts, and then you go into the thingy, and then you check the locations, and then you start and farm the first frame.
Have you seen? I mean, you have played mobile games.
Yes, I have.
Okay. Have you noticed how some of them, like the first time that you do something, they walk you through by locking buttons, locking things that you have to click?
Locking pieces, yeah. Just highlight them or locking in the interface.
Yeah, and you cannot advance until you click it?
Yes, correct. Something like that?
I mean, it could be just to force players to look at the thing that we're saying.
And look, we're walking a very thin line, because the thing about the Warframe is the same as the weapon. They use it to promote the store, right? Because you go to the same place, right? But it would be super cool if you go to the market and they make you go to the market and then buy the blueprint, and then they offer you, and you can buy the prime versions of blah 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 inside the quest. You can do the same
I wouldn't
the same propaganda inside the quest, right? In some way, shape, or form, so you don't say that you're not engaging in the actual monetization of side of the
fair enough,
right?
You could.
Right, and then you know how to farm frames now, right? Just congratulations.
That would be useful for frames.
Yeah, that'll be the first correction. Anything else in the new?
I mean, I feel like that's the first big hurdle to overcome. It's how to get more stuff.
Yes. And the game is not quite clear. The same with the explanation with the slots. You're not quite clear that you can buy slots, and then you need more slots for stuff.
Oh, yeah, the slots, that thing is never going to change.
No, it's never going to change, but it's not clearly explained that you need more slots, that you have, you start with a small collection of slots.
I mean, you'll realize it pretty soon, because you don't have that many.
Of course, and the game tells you like, you run out of slots, would you like to buy? Maybe that's too difficult. What?
But to be fair, that's whenever you watch all these free-to-play guides for Warframe or how to play free, the thing that they will recommend you to spend your platinum on at the beginning is just slots. So
that is true. So yeah.
You could let them. I'm just saying.
Even if we have now the track, the night waves that gives you slots in the
Oh
track.
yeah, but that's a like for a new player, that's
So
still a
difficult.
slow grind because
Yeah,
they cannot
yeah,
do most of the things.
yeah. To get the enough points to get slots,
Like
lots of
like
slots.
the Nightwave is definitely a thing, and for like mid-range players,
Yeah, which
right in
are
the middle of the game.
yeah you can, because when I think when you like I will say that when you unlock like 80% of the solar system, you can carry people, like you can take new players and carry people through the night wave for the
Yeah,
most
but
part.
there are still things on the Nightwave that
Yeah, like fighting Eilodons and that sort of stuff.
fighting Eidolons, fighting Ore Mothers,
Yeah,
completing sorties, all that kind of just for like a new player, they're not gonna be able to do that.
that is
Or even some of the easier ones of like kill this many enemies with this type of damage.
yeah, yeah.
Like if you're in your first week of play, you probably don't have the mods.
Or the weapons, or
No, even if you have the weapon, you may not have like all the elemental mods
that
for
is
the
true.
weapons that you're using at the moment.
That is probably true. Yeah.
Maybe
Even
just stick with that shotgun at the beginning that you like, but you don't have all the elemental mods for a shotgun.
yeah, that's true. Even like
So
even if the game doesn't like it throws mods at you all the time, but
it definitely has, but there are some of them that are not hard to come by, but they come like you come by those later in the game.
yeah. All right. So that's the new player experience. Anything else that we're missing from improving that process?
I think once you figure out how to farm warframes, you
You're
kind of
set.
get the gist of how it work of the game work.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
once
yeah.
you understand that, just okay, this is how the game is kind of doing its thing.
Yeah. And then yes, and then the tooltips for the what is the word I was looking for? The tooltips for the materials, they're all there, which is
Yeah,
the next thing that I was gonna. So in that regard, is good because that's the point when you like once you know how to form frames, you know where to get the materials that you need, etc., etc.
yeah, but all the materials, like you know where to get all the materials from the navigation chart.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So in that regard, it's clear. But I think that will be the key thing that we will
Yeah,
uh, that we will fix from the new player experience, right? Make make make
definitely.
make the progression, because we talk about this in past episode. Make the core progression more clear to the player.
Yeah, yeah, and if you think about it, farming warframes is kind of the basic idea of how everything works in the game.
Yeah, yeah. You end up
To
like
be fair,
through all the unlocking all the things. The only thing that you want to get is like the next frame, and then after that you get the relic system.
yeah, but I feel like maybe you could do something similar for the relic system. Although, to be fair, one of the junctions or some of the junctions require you to open relic.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
So
I
you
think it's
will
like the third
eventually,
junction, so you will engage with that. And that system's like, yeah, you go open relics and you realize that it has parts of things pretty quickly. But at
yeah.
that
So
point, you have to know already how the waves
no, but
operate.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
If the game does a better job at explaining how to build frames at the beginning,
Yeah, it's so
then when
much
you
easier.
go out and do the relic thing,
Yeah, it's way easier to understand. Yeah.
and you see, oh, think I don't know, Frost Prime chassis, and it
Yeah.
clicks. Oh, yeah, it's the same thing, but just so different.
Just in the relics. And it'd be
Yeah,
much clearly. So much clear to the player.
yeah.
Absolutely. And that would be fantastic. All right, so to the point of how they expose players more gradually to new systems. So you wanna like fix part of the pace of the game, know how you open systems, or
Ah,
you refer?
I think, and I think they tried do that on the introduction quest,
Yeah.
but it just the game throws everything at you at some point.
Yes.
So you finish that board quest, Captain Board's quest, and
Yeah.
it leaves you there, kind of hanging. Like, okay, I
No.
finished this 2 hour long quest.
Yeah.
Now what? And that is very rough for a new player. If you're
Absolutely.
not motivated to something, that's just okay. Now what?
Now what? Yeah, you don't have like a connected tissue kind of
You,
into
you, you
what.
don't have like a clear goal to work.
Correct. So one of the one of the ways of not especially through systems, but well, I will fix several things of that. First, I will give you the tease for the first big quest.
I would not.
I will give you the objective for the first big quest. Like,
No, I would not.
why not? It's like it's a cool, like,
It is cool, but one of the coolest things is that it's kind of hidden. So I would not.
it is, or like I will point you to get there at least, so you know you have a clear goal, right? In some way, shape, or form, I'll tell you like, oh, you should get to this junction or something like that.
No,
Or like
I
I'll tell
wouldn't do
you,
that.
you should open junctions or something like something clear, right?
Okay, junctions, sure. I wouldn't point them to a quest.
Then you will build something overall, right? Something to tell you to motivate you to open more junctions, because that's what you are doing at the beginning of the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the first objective should be to clear up the solar system.
Yeah, like an overall objective, right? So something like you have to gain back dominion over the system or regain travel time or something like that, right? They kind of do it for Mars because there is the battle quest requires you to open a junction. One of the quests requires you to open a junction, right?
A lot of them require you to open junctions.
Yeah, so they kind of do it through the quests thing, but the quests are not clearly advertised to you,
That is true.
right?
I think they don't know. Like, I think they mix their systems there because they use the quest to drive players to open junctions,
Yeah,
and at the same time, they use the junctions as the gate, like as the gatekeepers for the
for the
quest, which
quest,
is kind
yeah.
of weird.
So it's
So,
like,
so they don't know what to put up front, and I will say they could build some narrative thing
yeah, some like overall
that is
narrative about like opening junction and then the other quests will appear, right? Or like
yeah
exploration or something like that, right? An overall narrative that is
ex,
important.
exploration would be really cool. Like, imagine that. So you begin on Earth,
Yeah.
and imagine that in the navigation system you only see Earth.
Another
And
planet?
yeah, and like you go to navigation and you only see Earth,
Yeah.
and you see these missions, and then after doing the board thing, blah blah blah, you go out
Venus.
and
Venus appears.
no, but before that, like so the first objective is Tenno, we need to liberate all the mission node
Yeah.
things in Earth,
Yeah.
and doing that you will reach eventually the road that is the node that is like right before the junction.
Yeah.
And once you complete that mission,
Yeah.
you get a prompt like, "Oh, look, we found this ancient
Yeah. One of the ancient,
rail
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can open it,
Navigation.
Tenno."
Yeah. Navigation system,
Yeah.
blah. And then you open that
It,
navigation system and it shows you the other planets.
it shows you the next, no, but only the next one.
Only the next planet. All right, yeah. And you go through it again.
And then you go through it, and
So yeah,
that
so
would be cool.
like,
Like and imagine how would it feel
to
Like,
open
picture
systems
our current solar system in Warframe is huge.
is huge.
Imagine, imagine how could be that discovering feeling of unlocking all the planets slowly.
It would be amazing. It would be actually amazing. It's the same
It
thing as
has,
like the same feeling that I got when I opened the moon tileset. You something like that, right? Something that amazing. Of course, the moon tileset was accompanied with the quest, right? But it will give you
yes,
some sensation of that exploration thing, right?
yeah, but it will first be less intimidating for the players
Yeah,
because instead of like when you open the navigation,
it's
you
like
don't see
5 billion planets. You're like, oh
a
my
million
god,
planets,
Jesus Christ.
missions,
Yeah.
clan,
Void.
the void,
Yeah.
the derelict.
The derelict, yeah.
So instead of that, it's just step by step, and I think it has the potential to deliver a nice exploration feeling to the player.
Yes, absolutely. I will absolutely agree with that.
I,
It'll
I, I
be my question is like how would be easy to implement without like building that thing from the ground up? Probably like just obscuring some planets or making like hard to see or something like that, or like I don't know.
yeah, maybe something
Yeah.
like that.
But if you want to do
I
it,
don't know exactly how,
yeah.
but they could come up with a nice.
And then they have to fix because they have to fix another thing because they make PoE Plates of Alien and Fortuna part of the new player experience. So you get to that node pretty soon. Apparently, you can go to planes very soon, very early in the leveling system.
Yes, you can. That's fine,
All right.
in my opinion, because yeah, that's fine. The game tells you at some point that, oh, Tenno, you're not prepared for the planes.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
Come back when you're stronger.
yeah, that is true.
And
So
I
you
mean,
can still
if
have
you
it.
go out and get your ass kicked, it's fine.
Yeah, so you can still have it. Like you can still have it
Yeah,
as a
I don't see
I don't
that
see.
much.
But yeah, definitely the opening of this, the slow opening of the maps, of the
But
map
not
will be
only because right now you open it slowly, but just visually opening would help a lot with exploration feeling of the
correct.
game,
Yeah, so it's
in
just
my
like
opinion.
it's just like a visual thing, it's just like a
Yeah,
sensation.
it's
Yeah, yeah, it's just like yeah,
video games are about how it feels
yes, that is correct.
more than how it actually plays.
Yes,
So
yes, yes, yes.
it is doing the same thing that the game is doing right now. It's just that the delivery method visually could be a little bit better and more
Correct.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
That will help.
yes. Yes, I absolutely I agree. That's a great idea. I'll do something similar, some way of obscuring and encourage that
And
exploration.
yeah, and I thought about that just because right now the junctions, I mean, they feel kind of lost in between all the missions. Like when you're opening
Yeah,
them
you
the
have
first
no.
time,
Yeah, it's just like you do that to move to the next plan that you know where you have to
but they don't
go.
feel
Impactful.
important, and you
Yeah.
could use them, as you said, in a more impactful way.
Yeah. Correct. Correct. Correct.
And since basically they are like the junctions function as the gate for the as a gatekeeper for a lot of the content,
Yeah.
maybe you should aim to make them more meaningful throughout the
Through the leveling experience. Yeah.
throughout the learning experience.
Absolutely, I agree. That's a fantastic idea. It will be. It will need like you will need to overhaul the exploration
Oh, it
system.
it probably needs like implementing something like that will probably require changing the navigation
Yeah.
system and
Absolutely. Yeah.
overhauling a lot
All
of the
that.
UI.
Yeah. Yeah. Overhaul all that
I'm
complete system rebuilding. Don't we have
It's
something
probably
like
not an
that?
easy work job.
Something like that with Railjack? Do we have like a new map to open? Did they show you everything?
Yeah, it's they show you all the missions, but by the point when you get to engage with Railjack, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. All right, fair enough.
No, I mean,
yeah, yeah.
you open Railjack
Like,
really
yeah, yeah, yeah. But like you can still keep it. Like if you're gonna overhaul all the like.
Oh no,
Yeah.
you could definitely apply this to
Yeah, yeah,
everything and all
yeah,
be
exactly.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, I'm just saying, but the point that you reach Railjack, that magic is gone.
Of
You have
course,
experience.
but it doesn't mean that you're gonna do it anyway. And yeah, and I think that would be much better for that.
Yeah,
Definitely improve it. The and it will make the game feel better pace,
not
right?
only that, but it will make like like when you look at any Warframe guide, the first suggestion or among the first things are your first objective is to clear all the planet.
Yeah, just do all the notes, all the missions. Yeah,
And
yeah, that you can do.
and if we can incorporate that like in the visual delivery of the game, it will make the experience so much better.
I absolutely agree because imagine if you don't see the useless and you don't see and get confused by the useless airwing missions. Like they spoil every single airwing mission in all the so you feel that sense of I'm not doing everything that I'm supposed to
Yeah.
do.
Oh, that feels so bad when you are clearing that
Yeah, I
planet.
know, right? It's
Yeah.
awful.
I know.
I recently, like, this happened to me like 7 months ago, something like 8 months ago at this point, and I was like, I discovered that there was this one airwalk mission that I've never done before because it wasn't relevant at any point, and it was I was like, what? And it was closed down because there was a quest that was asking me like, go to do this mission, and the mission was behind an airwalk mission,
I see.
something like that, and it was like such a bad feeling of like after all this time I haven't done everything because I didn't care for the Air One mission since the beginning because they were there, and you're like, all right, okay, I guess.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, it will be nice. It will be, yeah, like for example, imagine that you reach the junction. I don't know which one is it from the top of my head when you unlock the Arwin mission.
Yes.
And then in these whole planets, you see the Arwin mission appear.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'll be cool.
Yeah, and then you are encouraged to go and do them, even if they're not like the best things ever.
Yeah.
But you will be encouraged to go and do them, right?
Yeah, that the visual progression. I think that will go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very fundamental and very old time fundament because I think navigation hasn't changed. They changed it once, if I'm not wrong.
Probably twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
At the beginning was like the circular map, and then they changed it to something else, and now we're in this version.
Yeah. I think no, there was something before the circles.
Really?
Yep.
All right, just like plain up map selection or something like that.
Something, but I mean, that's changing the navigation screen. It's probably a lot of work. To be fair.
Absolutely.
And doing what you're describing, it's probably even more work because they have to load or create like all these different layers of progression.
Correct.
And you have to make animations between them and stuff.
Yes, correct. But if you think about it, it's just an UI.
It is. System. It is just an UI.
So it's not that. It's not as bad. Like it's not as.
I'm
gonna change a fundamental.
We have no idea how the UI is coded in the game.
Well, they changed a bunch of UIs recently, right?
Yeah, but only Pablo has changed that.
Oh.
Like UI is one of the things that most people in the don't want to touch because it breaks everything.
Oh, I didn't know that. It breaks everything. Yeah.
That's why they're super careful with the UI changes.
Oh,
They roll super slowly.
Oh, wow. So we have to talk with Pablo for doing this.
I think the thing is that a lot of the changes, the UI changes that have been made, have come from Pablo implementing new tools on the engine to do those things.
All right. Yeah, of course.
Because just like probably the UI right now cannot do what we are describing, like from a technical point of view.
Yeah, that makes sense because you don't have a disconnected. Generally, how it works, how you generally works UI in games is like you don't work it on top of the engine. You do it with
Yeah,
something else.
it's its own system. You don't want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
mess
It's just
with
like
the
the
back end of the game.
the Flash packages of the action script packages or something different. Not the not you don't you generally don't build it entirely inside the game engine unless you build the tools to do that, right? For
Yeah,
example, the cry engine needs you to build a tooltip because it's such a bitch that it doesn't accept third party uses. But for example, with
I mean,
the Havoc
most
engine,
don't.
now the majority do. Like Unreal Engine 3, they accept you any connections with Flash or third party for UI designers, and the same with the Havoc engine, right? And they're the most like one like the biggest engines, unless you do an engine in house, which is something entirely different. But the point is like yes, you do need those specific tooltips to manipulate it, the UI. So I understand why it can be difficult. Anyways.
Also, the uses its own engine,
Yeah,
so
that's true. So yeah, they have to probably build that stuff from the ground up.
yeah, and a lot of the UI changes have come from probably tools that Pablo has built to change like some things, and then those tools have probably evolved, like have probably grown to allow the UI programmers to change things around.
So yeah, it's not gonna be an easy task, but I think will be
I think it's worth it, but it's not easy. It's probably a
yes,
lot of work,
you'll
and they
be
could break a
absolutely
lot
worth
of
it.
stuff in the process.
I think and I think it'll be absolutely worth it for the new player experience. It will improve it so much.
Oh, I 100% agree. I think it's worth it.
Yeah. All right. So how do you teach a player how modding works?
Uh, yeah,
Let's go into
this
this.
is. Let me begin saying something.
All right.
Like this is the big barrier to entry in the game. So the first one is
Correct.
how to get stuff, like just the coolest stuff that you see around,
Yeah, the core
naming
progression.
warframes and
Yeah.
weapons. The second big thing is okay, now that I have the stuff,
How to make my
how do I
stuff
make
cool.
use of this shit?
Yeah.
Which is what the mod system is.
Correct.
And that's a harder to crack. That, in my opinion.
All right,
I
I
don't
will
know.
start by how to make the new systems gradually. So I will cover them up, right?
Fair.
Right. For example, you at the beginning, you don't know. For example, in the modding at the beginning, you have no use for IATAN. The IATAN menu is pointless because you don't get IATAN. Things feel like like at least 4 planets up.
Sure, but that's just one tap on the mod.
Yeah, I'm just making an example, right? And you can do that with the rest of things. Like don't uncover them till you don't absolutely need it and start engaging with it. Which the game in part does. Which in game what?
What kind of things, for example?
So the game in part
walk me through it.
All right, the game in part does this with the bench when you open the benches, right?
Sure.
Right, for example, and it will be nice if you keep doing this with everything, right? For example, the melding things in the mod menu. It's just
no
it's just
really
clutter. It's just clutter, right? In the system. For example, the potatoes menus in the in the in the modding facility that like don't show that till you don't got a potato. The same with the with the forma things. Don't show that till you get forma, right? So you
I don't know about that.
You will slowly develop because it's super overwhelming. You open that and you have everything in your face. You're like
that's not true. To be fair, like potatoing and putting forma on weapons and warframes is hidden on a little button that says actions on the modding section. It's not on your face at all.
Well, fair enough.
Like you have to go to the bottom right corner of the screen, click on actions, and then it shows you like the 4 or 5 things that you
The
can do.
five things you can do. All right, fair
But
enough.
if you never click on that, you only see the modding slots. That's it.
All right. Then, do you have quest lines or things to do when you get like things to tell you how to potato, how to format, and
You
like
could you could give every player a free format, a free potato of each type, and
yeah,
you just tell them go potato your worth. The problem is that you have to like to potato you have to max level things,
yeah,
and that for a new player takes a while.
yes, that is true. So that will open when you get something messed up. So as soon as you get a weapon that could be potato maxed a max level, it
Okay,
will give you
I guess that could work.
yeah,
Yeah.
it will give you that, and it will give you the forma. If you want to forma something, it will the same. It will give you kind of like format. Now that you potatoed it, you can format X Y to change. For example, the easiest thing to format that is the stance, uh,
That's
the
a waste
aura,
of format.
or yeah, I know it's waste of format. Just giving you an example, or something very clearly to format like, oh yeah, this weapon has this polarity, and you want to put damage on it, so put this sort of polarity, something like that, right? Build it some way to easy introduce these systems to the player, and they know that they can do it.
I see a problem with that. Like the intention is good
Yeah,
because we're trying to walk the players through the potato in and forming process.
yeah,
When it becomes icy is how to use it, because
yes, of course.
forming requires making a decision of what polarity to use.
That is true, but you don't care about it. The only thing that you want to do to the player is
No, no,
show it
no,
how the
no,
system
no,
works.
no, no, no. But you care about that because
Why?
it could feel like a waste of a free resource that they gave you. Think about it.
It
Like
is the
when you
price
were
of yeah,
no,
but you're not
when
gonna
you were
see it.
beginning,
All right, yeah,
when you were beginning the game,
yeah, yeah.
you couldn't came with format on an easy way and like
No,
at a
absolutely
reasonable
not.
pace.
Yeah, correct.
So any piece of format they gave you was precious.
My precious. Then you just make it. You just make it tied, and you just make it tied to a quest, and that's it, right? Where you have
Sure,
to use it, like when you have to use it, and it's only usable in in that that plan. And if you want it, you can give him an extra one to use
but
however he wants.
but it is still like still still the optimal thing will be to take the first, like even if you give one at the end, it just the decision is important and
It
how
doesn't
to
matter.
use it
Like
optimally.
the way that you do is like you make it special, so you can only like there is no way that you can keep that format. That's my point, right? That it is designed specifically to
But
explain the
then
system to you.
but then you're taking out, like you're giving the player something and you're taking it away from him, and that feels bad.
No, because they I will give you a format back.
You will give it. Look, you will give it back, but you already gave the player one,
And he
and you
used
took it
it as
away.
part of the.
It
It's
feels
like
bad.
that. If you want, it feels bad, but it's the only way that I can think of how to explain this fucking system.
I know,
Right?
but again,
I prefer the player to understand how the system works. That he's gonna realize much farther into the future that they give you a format and they just keep the format. That's irrelevant to me. I need the player to not be confused about the system anymore and actually think about it. That's it. That's my whole goal.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The intention is good, but whenever the player realizes that he was wasting a scarce resource, it's gonna feel bad.
Well, you say that the format is difficult to obtain. That's
E-
it.
Even
Tell
if
the
you say
player, like if that's his
is
intention, you tell the
is
player, like, please.
It's not about saying things, if you know this. It's
I
about how
see,
it feels.
I see your point, but how else will you do
Oh,
it?
I don't know. I was just thinking, like, this is a problem that a lot of like free to play mobile games run into,
All right, fair enough. Yeah,
where
yeah,
they force you to use resources
yeah.
that may be difficult to come by through the game.
Correct.
And like it's after a couple of hours that you
Yeah,
realize, and then you think, oh fuck, I wasted it.
that's life.
No, but that feels bad. Like
Yeah,
that feeling
absolutely.
is
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't want to keep playing because I got fucked up.
It's difficult. I don't know how to fix that. Then.
No. But I'm not saying there's any solution, but you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
And
know, I know.
it's that type of feeling that it's just, oh shit, I wasted a forma.
I know, I know.
And it doesn't matter. Like on the long run, if you made it to the end game of Warframe,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yes. No.
You come back to format so easily at some point that it really doesn't matter.
Correct.
But getting there takes a long time. And there's a huge stretch of the game where you are like starving for form and potato.
Yeah.
And that's the most of the game if you think about it.
I don't know what else to tell you. That's my
No,
solution.
I know,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. It's just
Yeah,
that
I know.
you
I
spend
understand. I understand.
you spend so much time looking for these hard to come by resources that just wasting one at the beginning is gonna feel so bad for so long.
Maybe not. Maybe make it not so hard to. No, that cannot be done.
No, it's not. That's not gonna change.
Yeah, no. I don't know.
And it's not that hard. It's just that there is a big portion of the game
Yeah.
from the beginning to when you just made it to end game that it's hard to come by. So imagine that you're like at that middle point of the game, you got Ember and you thought, oh, this Warframe is amazing. I want to put all my resources into her.
Correct.
And you wasted a forma on something else that could have been the one that you could have used to complete your perfect Ember build. Feels bad.
Yeah, man. I didn't know, and
you didn't know, and you would have complained.
And like, but if the game tell me like keep it is precious, maybe I will keep it and not waste it, right?
But maybe, but
Right.
but the whole point of your system
It's
was to
very,
force the
like-
players to use it.
Yeah, because are gonna force you to use it to teach you
Yeah, but
why
that's-
it works, right?
And
How
yes,
else will I
no,
do
no,
that? How else? And the
I
other
agree.
option is just give you a video inside the game and tell you like, look, that's how it works.
Maybe that's the solution. I don't know. But that was my point. Like
All right.
it just once you force players to use hard to come by resources in
I
a
know, I
free to play game, it feels bad.
So then the answer to those systems will be
Oh,
will be do it like Monster Hunter. Like if you come by my new system, Monster Hunter actually shows you videos inside the game, right?
yeah, yeah. Why not?
Right?
Warframe has that right now. Like if you hover over the abilities of a Warframe,
Yeah, it
it
shows
shows you a little video of,
of
the,
what
of the
it
ability.
does. Yeah, something like that with the
So-
other systems.
Why not? Yes, let's do that. Let's put video tutorials
Yes,
like Monster
that would be
Hunter.
better than
That
nothing.
works.
Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, and just like make it inside a quest and like, oh yeah, you look blah, and then you go and see the actions. You have the actions, and then it starts showing you all the videos of everything that it does, right?
Fair. That could work. Fair
Right?
enough. I'll
There
give
you
that
go.
one.
Fixed. We fixed Warframe.
I mean, if you really think, like, I have never really read all the tutorials in Monster Hunter. Did you read all of them? Did you read all of them when they came?
No.
When they pop up?
And it's
Yeah,
not,
me neither.
It is not. It is not. I saw like at the beginnings. I saw some, but remember that I usually go by my way and find information, and that's the type of player that I am, right? And some of the
Also-
tutorials were things that I already know how it works.
Also, those tutorials are just walls of text with a little video on the side.
Yeah. Be more video side,
No,
like
they're
better
more
video
text.
production. No, I know the ones in Monster Hunter. I'm referring if we're
No,
gonna
the ones in
implement.
Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are those are the ones that I'm talking about.
I'm referring if we're
Those are
gonna.
yep.
I'm referring that if we're gonna put that in Warframe, it would be a better production video. Like not necessarily
Maybe
a wall of text. Like the wall of text is there for the reminder of what the system does, but the video should be like the more important thing to explain those
it's
systems.
yeah, but again, that probably puts a lot of extra gigs of weight on the game.
Yeah. The game is big enough, so.
No, but that's important for consoles and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, then, uh, I don't know. That would be like the easiest way. Besides building
I
entire quest and doing what I was suggested at the
I I know, but you
beginning.
have to think of
Of restrictions, I
like
agree.
I mean, not me, but the as the developer who has its game on multiple
Platforms, yeah.
platforms, they have to think of size and I don't know
All right, and
that kind of thing.
the other thing about
But
the
yeah, I agree. Videos could work.
yeah,
It's
videos could
hard.
work. The other thing about the mods is like stop giving the player at the beginning of the game broken mods. Just don't do it.
I don't have that much of a problem with that. They're
Why?
free endo.
Yeah, but how do you know that they're free endo?
You like throwing mods at the player face. It doesn't bother me at all because they like you don't have a limit to how many mods you can
That is
have.
true. My problem is the broken
So
mods. Why will you give you broken mods? What is the point?
doesn't I don't know why it doesn't matter to me really. Like I'll have a problem with the broken mods if you have a hard limit on how many mods you could have at a time.
Of course, but we don't.
But there is no limit, so
But
who gives a shit?
just give them the proper mod. What is the problem? I don't see why.
No, some of them are. Some of them only drop from later on missions. And
You're saying
can
because of
be
the rarity?
yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Do they explain how to like melt mods to make endo in that system?
I don't think they do, but again, that for example is the
And the
perfect
level,
thing to put in a little video.
yeah, and the level, how to level up the mods. I think they tell you
I think
can.
that they do. No,
Yeah.
that they do explain that you need to level up mods.
Yeah, correct.
But that should be more upfront because that again one of the central things of modding it's leveling
up,
the map.
Yeah. And how to make endo too, like the fact that that you can that you don't need multiple copies of the mod in general.
Sure, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like those 2-3 things that are like there on the mod bench.
Yeah.
Could go into like little videos whenever you unlock it, like you see mod melding or dissolving, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, so they're like mods are the power of the Warframe. They can be leveled up. And then if you have too many mods, you can make endo to level them up. Something like that, man.
No, but you have to make different videos. So for example, you one short one for
leveling up and the other
dissolving them.
Dissolving. All right, yeah.
So you show a little video of selecting mods and then clicking dissolve, and it shows that it gives you endo.
Yes.
That's one video. Then you go to the endo thing, to the upgrade thing, and then you say, you can upgrade the mods depending on the rarity, and the main resource that you're going to use is called endo, and it highlights the little thing where it shows you how much endo do you have at the time.
Correct. And that would be
those are the things that will be great for Monster Hunter like videos.
Yes, correct.
I agree.
And does anybody does the melt thing, the one that you put mods and then you get a random one?
You could also. I think they should get rid of that. No
Yeah,
one
me
really
too. It's like, what is the point?
I think it had a point a long time ago, but not anymore.
No, yeah,
So
that system should go.
maybe I should get rid of that. Really, no one uses it. Is a waste of mods.
Exactly.
But it's just better
Unless
get
you can change it to something like recipes for mods.
Yeah, but then you're talking about a whole new system.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. You should get rid of that
Maybe-
system. If they want to do something like that, they should put probably recipes for mods.
Maybe I don't think the game needs a system like that because it already throws
A lot of mods to you. Yeah,
a lot of mods on your face.
yeah, that is true.
Because I feel like you're thinking something like the Elder Murder in
Yeah,
Monster
something
Hunter,
like that. Yeah, correct.
which makes sense because you don't come across decorations at the same pace that you get mods in Warframe.
That is true. That is yeah. That is definitely true.
And actually, you use the Elder Murder to get rare resources.
Correct.
So rare stuff, like rare materials.
Yep.
Which Warframe doesn't have that much of, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I don't think it will benefit the game.
Fair enough. So you just delete that tab from it.
Just get rid of that. It's called Fusion.
Yeah, Fusion.
In Warframe.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of that.
Yeah, I never use it. I've never, in like the 3 years that I play Warframe, like...
I've done it a couple of times just for the shits and giggles. It's a waste of mods. Like, just get the end.
I've never used it. Like, never. All right, and now, how do you explain to the player? And it's funny because the whole critique is, how do we explain stuff in Warframe? How do we explain to the player damage types and armor, shield, flesh, all that stuff?
Because that's
not
like one thing is telling the players how to mod, which is kind of easy. Just take your card, click it and drag it and drop it to a place.
Correct.
But the whole point is that I feel the game should make a better job at explaining damage types because what makes the game interesting is this whole interaction between the elemental and IPS and all the different flesh types and armor types and shield types in the game.
What if we take that wing where the AIDS removal thing is?
The infested room?
Yeah. What if we take the infested room and we make it a training room? Right? And you put a dummy to test this stuff and you explain it through that.
You have the Cephalon simulacrum for that. Those are your dummies.
But the things like to go to the like is such external and it's such an external system that it's difficult to get there knowing what exactly what you want to do. You know what I mean?
I know.
Right?
I know what you mean, but those are your dummies.
Can you not have a very beginning dummy inside the ship to test those type of damage if you're doing the correct damage, etc., just like a wall dummy with the resistance?
I think the main like you know how they change the UI now. So for example, when you go to a syndicate, like you can actually be teleported to a syndicate room in the closest relay.
Yes,
from your
orbiter,
from your orbiter. And now in the syndicate thing, you can go not only through the syndicates but also through their factions. So when you're looking at your reputations, you can also go through Quills and Ostron and
correct.
So you should add
Simaris to that.
Basically, you should add a quick access to a simulacrum in your orbiter.
Exactly. That's an easy thing that I was saying. But the thing is, like, how early can you do that?
Maybe you should give access to a simulacrum a lot earlier than what the game does.
Yeah. So
it is pretty early
you should give access to the relay in Earth really early,
Oh, you get access pretty fast.
right?
It's among the first or second junction that
Then
you
there
have
you
to
go.
in the
So
game.
you maybe can like take that and then just give it, because I understand that the simulacra is you have to unlock it. You have to unlock some things on it, right?
Uh, the enemies are tied to a scan that you have done. So to unlock, like you need to scan an enemy a certain amount of times
Yeah.
to
Unlock it in
discover
this
all these stats and drops and things. And when it's fully scanned, it gets unlocked on the simulacrum.
then you will have to like unlock this scanning system much to make that solution be viable. To take like a
But it's
nuclear.
not. You get the first scanner pretty soon. Like I think for the second junction. Like you don't get the infinite scanner, but remember that you get like the
The
cheap
viable one.
scanner. Yeah.
Yeah, you should keep infinite scanner from the beginning.
It's that I'm fine with. Like you get exposed to scanning stuff pretty early, to be
All
fair.
right, fair enough. So, but you should like give access to the simulacrum, and then you give like the first like three super basic
May-
enemies, right?
Maybe you should eliminate the simulacrum key access thing,
Yes,
which you have to grind Cephalon Simari's reputation for that, which is
correct.
annoying.
Yes, correct.
Just give full access to a simulacrum from like as
From
soon
the
as you
beginning.
unlock Cephalon Simaris, just give access to a simulacrum.
Yeah, he tells you like, oh, you have a blah to test blah blah
Yep.
blah, and then you can tie it to that to like how to explain damage types inside the simulacrum, because that's the only way that I imagine how you can like make that system clearly.
Maybe I agree, but that's because that's confusing if you think about it. Like
What do you mean?
the whole damage and flesh and
Yes,
stuff
absolutely
thing.
confusing. Yeah, you will have to build like a quest around it to explain it.
Maybe I don't
Because
think
there's,
if you need that much.
or maybe small objectives to like to make you go into the simulacrum, and then they will showcase you some weapons that does different type of damage, and then you'll understand it.
Okay, you know what would be cool?
All right.
To have this. So let's say we open the simulacrum and they
Correct.
give you like a list of challenges, which are basically DPS checks. So you have they put an armor enemy in front of you and you have to kill it in 2 seconds. And the only way to do that is to put corrosion damage on your
On the
weapon.
weapon. All right. Yeah. The thing
And
is
you do
like,
that.
yeah.
Yep.
The thing is like you have to guarantee to that point that the player has those mods from whenever you get there.
Fair. A lot
In
of
that
people have
shape.
a lot of people have suggested that you should get access to all the mods in the simulacrum,
That would be better.
which I
That will
think
fix
it
that. Yeah.
should be a thing that you
Yeah.
get full access to all the mods in the simulacrum, so
Yeah.
that you can plan your builds,
Yeah, and you can experiment.
because
and
that's
know
the
what-
whole purpose.
Yeah, correct. That's such a good solution. Yeah. Yeah, that will fix that problem, because it will give you like, oh, this is the simulacrum, this is your challengers, and then they will give you a reward at the end, and then you
Yeah.
figure out how to complete them, moving
Yeah,
the mod
so-
system.
So basically, you develop a bunch of DPS checks
Yeah.
that can only be overcome with like the specific type of damage.
Yeah, and in the same concept, you will understand why it's good for crit and what's good for elemental damage.
Yeah.
Why is are important in that same. But yeah, you will have to build that entire like kind of like an entire like objective systems to explain this system.
Yeah, but I think that could at least nudge the players into that direction.
Yeah,
And you just can hardcode it. Like you just put an enemy that has a bunch of, I don't know, a corpus enemy that has a bunch of robotic
yeah,
damage. And if you don't put electricity, you're not gonna kill it in time.
correct. Can you implement this in like the MR leveling system, maybe?
The different challenges?
Yeah.
Sure, you could unlock them at different MRs.
Yeah, you can implement this to like, oh yeah, now you have to like with the MR challenge, and then is the normal MR challenge, but you have to build for certain type of damage, for example, to showcase that system. Maybe you can implement
I,
both,
I,
or
w- I
you can
wouldn't
have them.
mix those two, to be fair.
Fair enough. Yeah, it was a suggestion maybe that you can
No,
make a
you know
small.
why? Because the MR challenge, you can only do it once per day.
But you can like simulate it a bunch of times. You can train it.
Yes, yes, you can train it a bunch of times, but you can do it only once.
That is true.
And a lot of people at the beginning, they don't know that they can simulate it, and they just, since the fairly are fairly easy, they go blindfolded into most of the
Yep.
challenges.
There's another system that we have to put a video on.
Yeah, but the MR is, I will leave it alone. It's so irrelevant, to be fair.
Fair enough.
While this explaining damage
Yeah, it's
and
most
flesh and
is
shields,
important. Yeah,
it sounds more fundamental.
but you
And
will have.
maybe when you complete all the challenges, they give you a cool ephemera or something.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's a good solution, like to have, and that will what I will do, to have like a training. Is the only way to do it that I can imagine, to go to into training system, or like build missions with like particular, but you need access to the mods, so it's better if you
Yeah,
do it in a
I
training.
feel like building missions is too much. You already
Yeah.
have the simulacrum. You could use it more, and yeah, already a lot of people are asking for them to just give you all the mods in the simulacrum, which makes sense because that's how a lot of people plan builds.
Yeah, and like I've never used the simulacrum, for example,
Yeah, me neither, but
and it should be a system that more people should use for that exactly.
it should. I agree.
Yeah, for that exactly, to know what where are you gonna get, where are you going, and what do you need to get there to whatever you're trying to do.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah, so that's how we probably fix that. We've been trying to fix how to explain stuff in Warframe.
Because that's the biggest problem that
Yeah,
Warframe has, and is that it
absolutely,
has too much stuff going on,
and not
and a lot
enough
of the stuff that
explanation.
it has is hard. Not only is not explained, but a lot of it is just hard to explain.
Yeah, correct.
Like explaining damage types and armor and health and scaling stuff in Warframe is just a pain.
Yes,
Like
correct.
even if you go to a wiki and you like look for armor, like it will give you a very heavy explanation on what armor is and like scalability, and like it has this curves that show you how much damage you have to. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, it is too much.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that
Which
will
it's
be
too, like if you go to a wiki to get information, it's too much information.
correct.
And most players really don't need that type of detail more than knowing, oh, you're going against Grenier.
You need toxic damage
Use
and maybe grenade.
corrosion
Yeah,
or
use
toxin.
whatever. Yeah.
And that's it. Or you
That's
go
it.
to Corpus, yeah, put on magnetic or electric. You're
And
going against infested. Burn them. Burn them with fire.
that's it. Yeah.
That's what most people need to know.
Yes, correct.
To be fair.
What do you think about the specific mods for types of enemies?
They're kind of a way, like, I don't know, but I don't change builds each time that I go to a mission.
Correct.
Especially since each mission is fairly quick, unless you're doing like an endurance run.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So I don't know, like let's say for example you're farming relic.
Yeah.
Each mission is gonna take what, 5 minutes?
Correct.
I don't want to be changing my loadout, like my specific weapon loadout every 5 minutes.
Correct.
That's and I think that's the reason why those mods don't see that much use.
Yeah, fair enough. And to finish this deep dive, please, Warframe, expand more lore on the syndicates. The syndicates are cool. They're a cool idea. They have a lot of influence through some of the quests. There's some of the quests that they related directly to, but there's a bunch of question marks around it. Like, what do they do? Do they have impact? Do they they
The
have
syndicates are
wars?
cool. Yeah, because they have this friendship-hate
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah, yeah.
And when you're hated by some, they send assassins to kill you in the
Yeah,
missions.
the system is cool,
R-
but
really
the
cool idea.
yeah,
Really poorly explained in lore.
correct.
And they have so much potential. And they have explored with some of the quests, like
Yeah,
Chains of Harrow with the Red Veil. Yeah,
correct.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
And but the other ones,
with
like
the new
very
loca
sequence.
with the
New Loca with the Titania's quest.
yeah.
Yeah, but like and Cephalon, the Cephalon Syndicate has
Yeah.
some with the Octavia quest.
Correct.
But I don't know, like there are other syndicates. I want to know about them.
Correct. So
It just and Warframe has not a lot, but it has some of these random things around that could use more lore. Like
yeah.
like syndicates are one of them. For example, quills. I would like to know more about them. What is the deal with the quills?
Yeah.
Why do they know about our void
Yeah.
powers?
What? Yeah. What do they know about the operators? Why?
You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. So more expansion of lore, please. We will like to know, especially in the syndicates, because it's one of the things that you engage a lot at the beginning.
Yeah, on the mid game, you have to engage a lot with the syndicates because they have a lot of mods for you to get, and weapons that are really good.
Yeah.
So you have to farm them. Those are fundamental, and they're just such a waste of lore because they look cool.
Yes, absolutely. The design is cool. What they do is interesting, and the fact that they are in conflict with one another, but they kind of like they're in conflict, but they kind of coexist and etc.
Yeah. They like the thing that all of them have like little houses in each relay.
Yeah.
Even though they hate each other. Like
yes. What?
Why is that? Like that's that will be interesting to explore those things.
Yeah, correct.
I don't know, like it could be too cool, like for example, that there is like a mafia like council of all the heads in the syndicates, like in the Godfather,
like that.
when all the heads of the mafia get together.
Maybe they like instigate war and we have like war events between the syndicates or something like that, right?
I know. So many. It will be cool.
All right. And to close, please interconnect more of the side quests with the hidden lore.
It is kind of the same complaint as before that, and we talked about this in depth when we were talking about the lore.
Yeah.
A lot of the side quests, now you definitely need more connecting tissue
between them. Yeah.
Because even though they're good, they are kind of barely any good, to be fair.
Yeah. All right. To close our deep dive, I think Warframe will benefit for a lot. This like new player explanation is the highest, like, is the most glaring problem that they have, like not explaining some of these very difficult very interesting systems, and the interconnection of more lore will benefit a lot. Like they keep expanding and expanding until stories different, but they kind of like not connecting everything together so well as we wish.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like they expand a lot, but I wish they will just backtrack a little bit and do little quests to fill in some holes so that it feels like more heavy, the lore. It's like right now it feels kind of sparse.
Correct.
For as good as it is, it's kind of sprinkled all over the place.
Correct.
I want to see a layer behind that, like the meaty part of the universe. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and that's Michael said about Warframe. It's difficult because the eternal problem of like if you go back and fix some stuff or if you do more content because people like content. So
I know
that's the dilemma. But with that, we finish our deep dive, our critique of Warframe and what it needs to get better.
It's basically it's a good game, and a lot of people are put off by the overwhelmingly amount of of systems and stuff, that it's
Yeah,
thrown at your
absolutely.
face after like 2 hours of introduction quest.
Correct. Correct.
That's my problem with Warframe.
Yeah, that's our problem. And with me, more than that, I would like for them to interconnect more lore.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now we pass to audience questions and feedback. Remember that you can send us emails, leave a comment, send us a kiss, pass by my stream, ask questions about this about the podcast, etc., etc. And here will answer your most burning questions. So our first question of today is: can Warframe ever be mainstream?
Can it?
Can it?
Is it?
I think
don't
if,
think
if
so.
they fix that huge barrier of entry, it can be so much more mainstream than it is right now.
Maybe. I don't think so. I think their art style puts off a lot of people.
But you can sell, like, the thing is, like, you can sell that art style with time.
I know you can sell
Right?
it. But I think like if you think that, I don't know, Grand Theft Auto is the fucking masterpiece visually, you are not gonna like Warframe.
Well, yeah.
You know, like if what's up? No, like what is appealing to you is some form of realism.
Yeah.
Warframe throws that out of the window.
But then I will say, like, what about World of Warcraft? World of Warcraft is considered a mainstream game. Like, everybody knows about World of Warcraft, and it's not. It doesn't have like the realism, like the super.
Yeah,
realism.
but World of Warcraft has a cartoonish look to it.
All right. So you say that the art style of Warframe is too much?
No, like if you compare it with World of Warcraft art style is very friendly. Like,
yeah, that is true.
It's just like exaggerated forms, but like they're all like usual things, like kind of cartoonish. They look amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not criticizing that it should look serious. I like it, but it's really friendly and like bowly, if you think about it.
So you mean that it's a problem between selling fantasy and selling hard sci-fi, which Warframe is hard sci-fi, I would say.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people won't get into hard sci-fi like that.
All right, maybe it's a problem.
So and I think that specific like art style is not for most people.
Fair enough.
I don't think most people are into like cosmic horror and space horror and stuff like that.
Yeah, fair enough.
which is what Warframe is seriously trying to do.
Correct. Yeah, that is correct. That is true. That is true.
So,
but I think it cannot be Warframe. It cannot be truly mainstream, but it can get to achieve that collective. Maybe it already did, like in the last years.
maybe it already peaked in the awareness that it can have on the wider gaming audience.
Yeah. Of course.
But I don't think it can be the next Fortnite or anything like that.
Fair enough. Of course, the criticisms will help him to get more players.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. But I don't know if we'll get to that critical point of awareness. As with the launch of Planes, right? That was the peak of Warframe awareness.
I think that's when they came out of their hiding spot, and now everyone kind of know of this weird free-to-play Warframe game.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
but I don't think it's gonna be the next Minecraft.
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, I hope as well. Like, it would be amazing.
I hope he keeps his momentum. That's it. Like, I hope he keeps his relevancy.
Definitely, but it is the game is too complicated.
Yeah,
it has too much shit going on for and it is too weird. Like, the art style is too weird, and the stories that he's telling are really hardcore in the background.
Yeah.
They touch on really like sensitive topics that are never going to be completely mainstream.
Fair enough. And for
like mental health, slavery.
Yeah, hard stuff to sell.
Top sell. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, but it's not for
top sell for a wide audience. It's
enough.
Also an R-rated game.
Yes, so. That is true. Yeah. Yeah, I
Eh,
hadn't thought about it.
yeah,
And,
like if
yeah. And the second question is it worth it to update legacy or old content in a long-lived video game?
depends on the game. It depends on your goal.
So is it worth it to have a like my the question is like is it if to better like when we are talking about bettering this point of entry for a new player is kind of
Yeah,
that like upgrading old content for a better point of entry. And I will argue the same in the World of Warcraft. Like there's some parts of the old content that maybe need a little bit more upgraded for make a smooth player experience. But the question is how much of that content is has contact with the players beyond the new player experience to make it worth it to update, right? Because the option is just start the player in the newest thing point as a new player and forget
yeah.
about the old content. If you want to see the old content is there and you will experience as old as it is, like we do as going to old raids, or is it worth it to recycle or like better all that content to put in the forefront? That's the question, right?
It depends. As I just told you, it depends on the game. For Warframe, the answer is probably: is it worth it? Yes, it probably is,
All right, fair enough.
because there is really no all content in Warframe. Like if you think about it,
Yeah,
like let's say right now I want to get a new copy of Frost.
yeah, you should go and do the
I have to do the same thing that I
Yeah.
did when I get it.
Yeah,
And the
correct.
Frost that I get is the same Frost. Like
Correct. Yeah.
it hasn't changed.
Yeah, it doesn't have all content technically speaking in
It doesn't
that
have
way.
all content. It suffered that some of its quests were made at a time where the company was in a different place with
Correct.
different priorities.
Yeah.
Those should be updated for sure, because you want to have a more consistent tone in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So for Warframe, yes. For things like WoW, no, really. because when you're playing WoW, you don't want the players to go and farm all the freaking content in the game,
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter.
fair enough. But all that
It
lore
just
and game design and map design
you,
is
you
there.
you can still go out and
Yeah.
see the lore,
Yeah. That is true.
but the things that you get are not important. While in Warframe, different. Warframe is more similar in that sense to Destiny.
All right, fair enough. Yeah.
That you should upkeep the quote unquote old content.
All right. So it
So
depends.
if you have all the events and all stuff, the reward should be useful.
Correct.
Otherwise, why do you have that in the game?
So I think the answer is like it depends of how structured how is your
Yeah.
long-lived video games is structured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your plan with the game?
Yeah.
And Warcraft's plan is just delete the old, here comes the new.
Yes, and that's always been their philosophy, practically.
Yeah, but from the beginning, Warframe's philosophy is we're just gonna keep adding shit to this.
Yeah. See where it takes us.
Yeah, and the Braton that you get at the beginning, that's one of the oldest weapons, still useful.
Still useful, yeah.
So, and that's the philosophy. They have to upkeep everything.
Yeah, correct. So yeah, it depends how is the answer is yes, but it depends how is worth it to update, but it depends how your game is structured, like and how much are you revisiting those old pieces of content.
And not only that, but like you as the developer, how much do you expect your players? Like how much time do you want your players to burn in quote unquote all content?
Yeah.
Because the message is different. For Warframe, the message for Warcraft, the message is we don't want to. We just want you to engage with the new patch.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
For Warframe, the message is no, like look, we have the relic system that touches on all the missions.
Correct. Yeah.
Now we have the Kua Leech, which makes some of the old missions more difficult. So it's just revamping all stuff.
And we have events when you have to go to all missions to do stuff.
Yep.
That sort of stuff, yeah.
And we have the syndicate, the Nightwave, which make you do stuff all around the solar system from the things that you will consider old to newer. So
correct. So yeah. So
that's there's a clear intention from the developer side.
Yeah, correct. So that's the thing. Like if you're using their old system a lot, like and the intention is there, absolutely yes. If not, then don't bother and just leave it as it is.
Yep.
You move on into the new thing. All right, that's it.
All right. That's all for this week's episode. Once again, thanks for tuning in into The Sweaty Farmer and the Game Design. My name is Lucho, and you can find me on Twitter at LuisGPolanco.
And I am the Lone Name Gamer. You can find me on Twitter at the Lone Name Gamer and on Twitch on twitch.tv/LoneNameGamerTV, where I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Put the notification bell on it if you want to. There's like the notification bell on YouTube. You're watching it on YouTube. But mainly subscribe if you're hearing to us in your favorite hearing device. To the Sweaty, the Farmer, and the Game Design. See you next time.
Bye.
And did you know? Buddha's hands are often candied and made into jams, while pieces of the fruit can be added to both savory and sweet dishes. I love flexible fruit. And the zest can be used to flavor alcoholic beverages, baked goods, marinades, and other food dishes. Fantastic.
And Buddha's hand citron fruits usually mature in late fall or early winter and haul moderately well on the tree, but not as well as other citron varieties.
So are we in Buddha's hand, like ripe season?
Have you ever had Buddha's hand?
No.
Me neither.
Oh, we pick a really weird fruit today.
Yes, you did. I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah, but apparently it's like very Asian and India's. And even if I was like close to those countries, like when I was in Aussie, I never saw one. But I can find it super interesting that fruit exists.
Yeah, so weird.
It's super weird. Just like I find it appropriate for the thematic.
Fair enough.
If there is a fruit that can exist, then Warframe is probably Buddha's hand.
Yep.
Probably
I can see that.